Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Nope, not gonna say that. Welcome back everyone. It's been a long time, so maybe you don't remember. I'm Katie. Welcome to our new house. It seems like not all that long ago we were working on our house in Powell. Now that we've moved to Minnesota, we have a new project to work on. So this is our upstairs. This is the railing. All of this is going to go. There is tons of storage in this upstairs, which will be great. For now, we haven't been using it. We've really only lived in the main level. The boys have been using the upstairs as a huge play space. They might be a little sad to be losing all of their Nerf area, but let's show you around. So there are 2 bedrooms upstairs and a bathroom. Almost every room has wallpaper in it. So we will be taking down lots of wallpaper. We may need to texture the walls after the wallpaper has been removed. We're not really sure how the walls will react. And for this project, we do have a sponsor. Wagner has provided us with some tools to help us remove that wallpaper, hopefully without damage. Welcome to the pink room. Everything is pink. The carpet, the walls, the wallpaper, the ceiling, the light fixtures. When we were looking at the house, we did discover that there are hardwood floors under here. Just like our last house, we seem to keep getting lucky. So we will remove everything, paint, texture if needed, with the carpet down, and then we'll remove the carpet and hopefully uncover some beautiful hardwood floors. Here is the upstairs bathroom. We're not going to be working on this. This is the only room upstairs that doesn't have wallpaper in it, but that will be for another day. So this is the last upstairs bedroom. There's just a little bit of wallpaper in here. Throughout the entire upstairs, we will be taking out all the trim and replacing it. Again, painting everything. So thank you again to Wagner for providing those tools, because that will make it super easy and fast to get all of our painting done up here. What are you finding, Flint?
Flint.
So as I said, there is lots of storage upstairs. I didn't show you the closets in the bedrooms. We haven't decided if that's going to be part of this project or not, but these will be. These are all built-ins. There are some drawers in here and some shelves. And we really don't know what we're going to do with these yet, but you'll find out with us. So this is a little bonus space that we have. It is currently pretty gross. It is also uninsulated. This is the space above our porch. So this space will also be a project for another day. Right now we're going to do the landing area, the hallway, and the 2 bedrooms. We want to get those ready for the boys to move into, so let's get to work.
Superficial demolition was the first order of business. I went through and peeled off all the old, ugly trim, then stacked it in that bonus room over the porch. Once I had it all removed, I opened the window and tossed it out. But don't worry, no dogs, chickens, or UPS drivers were harmed by my airborne rusty nail punji sticks. Next, I removed all the doors and their frames by running a reciprocating saw around the outside along the studs to cut the hardware holding them in place. I used a combination blade so it would eat through any nails or shims in the way, and it was long enough to pass all the way through, so I only had to make my cuts from one side. Lemon squeezy. So here's just a quick little tip. Once you take out a door, it's all floppy and it ends up being hard to carry this way. So what I like to do is shut the door and run one screw in, kind of like at the bottom corner. And now it's all one sealed piece that you can kind of carry around by the handle. To get rid of the multiple layers of wallpaper was quite an ordeal, but we used Wagner's on-demand steamer with a wallpaper attachment to make our lives a little easier. First, we went over the whole wall, scoring the paper by making a series of X's with the corner of a trowel. This allowed the steam to penetrate better and got things nice and loose. Doing small sections at a time, we eventually ripped down every square inch of that ugly stuff. At this point, we were left with some very ugly and scarred walls. The one thing I will say in favor of wallpaper is that it's really easy to hide some hideous messes underneath. Before we could start painting, we had to try and smooth out some of the worst spots. I went over everything I could find with some fresh drywall mud, then did a hasty job of sanding it back out. I've done this a number of times now in several different houses, and I know for a fact that I'm terrible at drywall. So I wasn't going for perfect here, just good enough to make the bad spots less dramatic before I broke out the secret weapon. Wagner's turbine-powered texture sprayer is exactly what I needed to hide my drywall ineptitude. With some extra loose mud in the hopper, I could fling great big globs all over the walls and ceilings without much effort. Well, okay, there was some effort, because I lacked the Popeye-esque forearms to heft that much weight around for very long. I would coat one full surface at a time, then use a wide knockdown knife in long continuous motions using consistent pressure. This flattens out all those globs of mud and leaves a nice texture that hides most of the imperfections underneath. Pro tip, I used pliers to bend up the tips of my knife just slightly. This way, it doesn't leave sharp lines in the wall every 24 inches. After the texture dried, it was time to start slinging paint. I pulled out my trusty Control Pro 130 from Wagner, which you might recognize from the video about moving into my new shop. I could dump roughly a gallon of paint at a time into its hopper, then just get to business painting the closets, ceiling, and this built-in storage that needed a facelift. With the carpet still down and everything masked off nicely from the texturing process, overspray wasn't a concern. I am still amazed just how fast I was able to coat that much square footage. While the paint in the house dried, I took the sprayer outside to my barn where I had another project all staged up and ready to go. Having this much space to work was amazing. I was able to spread out every single door, frame, and stick of trim so I could paint it all in one go. Oh, and there's my little camper just hiding out in the corner. For those of you asking about it, I'm still planning the whole overhaul I announced a year ago, but our family priorities have changed, so it's just a back burner project for the time being. But don't worry, it's still coming. To paint the doors, it's actually better to prevent runs if you can spray them flat. My father-in-law lent me all these little metal tees that I temporarily fastened to the top and bottom of each door. This way, I could paint both sides of the door without waiting for the first side to dry. Just spray, flip, and spray again. With the high-volume paint slinging completed, it was time to move on to the more precision-style painting. First, and much to my chagrin, is the process of cutting in. I don't have a lot of patience for this step, so I let Katie lead the way and I just helped. Rather than masking between the walls and the ceilings, if you have a steady hand and lots of focus, you can use a brush to get nice, sharp lines. It's also very helpful to brush around receptacle boxes and in corners where a roller can't fit in very close. Since this video is sponsored by Wagner, there's obviously no way I was going to use an antiquated dum-dum roller. Nope, for this I was using their smart sidekick roller, which kept all 5 gallons of paint on tap at all times. Instead of stopping every 10 seconds to re-soak the roller in a paint pan, I just hit the button with my thumb, and I was back in business without ever slowing down. My only complaint is that with this much efficiency, I never had a built-in excuse to take a break and put the roller down, so my arms got tired much faster than normal. Seems like I might need to do a push-up once in a while. After 2 coats of paint and all the gallons of mud underneath, it was extra humid in the house and it took a while for everything to be completely dry. So I waited a week, then it was finally time to pull up the carpets and see the real condition of the hardwood floors. Alright guys, so this project has taken a long time and has kind of gotten away from me, but let's try to do a status report. I am currently out in the cold entryway, just trying to find a quiet place to talk to you for a minute. Gosh, where do I start? We got the walls done. We got everything done. It looks fantastic. The plan was pull up the carpet, put in trim, doors, move on, be done. We pulled up the carpet and found out that they had painted at some point without ever attempting to keep from slopping paint on the floors, so the floors were just trashed. Good solid wood underneath, hideous, hideous. I should have known better. The corners of the room are not a good indicator of how good the wood floor is because nobody uses the corners of the room. So we had to get the floors redone. Good guy discount with my father-in-law's friend. We got them done quickly and cheaply, and they look fantastic. So we'll go in there, we'll take a look at the floors eventually. So to back up, part of that story is I was waiting for him to come and do that, so I decided let's tackle the half wall by the staircase to take the wall out, put in a railing, and make it look a lot more nice, a lot more open. That's going to be a separate project entirely. But in doing that, I had to do a little bit of patching of the floor so that it was ready to go for the floor guy. Okay, I think we're caught up. Floors are done. Staircase railing isn't in place. I will be doing that next. Right now, my father-in-law and my two brother-in-laws are here doing the trim and hanging the doors. I asked for help on the doors, and I figured I would get one of them to come and help me with that, and all of a sudden we have a crew of 3 and they're just running with it. So it's really good to see people who have worked together really know what they're doing. I am pretty much in the way at this point. I've hung trim, I've hung doors. I'm not an expert. They are. So I am going outside to the shop to get tools as they need them. Otherwise, I'm staying out of the way and clearly just talking to a camera. So let's go in, let's take a look at what it looks like when professionals have spread themselves out and just laid waste to the work that needs to be done. Okay, now you have to tell me everything you're doing. Be very professional. You only get one take. So why don't you take a minute to tell me about what you're doing back here?
We're 45 in some base. Just easy peasy lemon squeezy, you know.
Can't argue with that.
And it's white, so it hides a lot. And there's no profile to it, so another good on ya.
Well, it's all done. Sorry for the big jump in the timeline there, but as you saw in that last update, when you get that many skilled people working together who have worked together for a long time, stuff just happens. It was a whirlwind of activity, and in one day we had all the doors, all the trim done. After they left, I spent some time caulking all of the seams and filling all the nail holes. And I spared you that because it's kind of boring. It was tedious. I didn't enjoy doing it. It's just a part that has to get done. It's the last little piece of making things look perfect. Also in that, I finished putting in my staircase guard railing, which is going to be a separate video. It's here. It looks great. It was too much information to go into that to put into this video as well. So it's wrapped up. Let's have a look around. So, gosh guys, this was a long one, starting about 6 months ago, and then just regular life got in the way and we had to stop working on it and start working on it and start and stop and back and forth. And actual time involved wasn't that bad. It was just time that elapsed between steps. That's what made it draw out. Huge thank you to Wagner. I used a lot of their products in this video. They definitely made the painful parts go much, much easier. All the text, removing all of the wallpaper was awful, and that steamer really helped out. Texturing, great. Painting, great. All of it went so much easier. Painting all of the trim and the doors out in the barn, All the Wagner tools that I use, I'm gonna have links for those. You can go find them at some of your local suppliers. Man, if you've got a project to tackle like this, I suggest you go and get some of those tools. It makes it a lot better. And that's about it. I need to wrap up this video so I can go start bringing in stuff into the boys' new bedroom because they want to spend the night in here tonight. So thanks guys, we'll see you next time.